Have you ever pondered about the Millennium Reign as described in the Holy Bible's Revelation chapter 20? It's a fascinating and pivotal part of the Christian faith, and yet it remains shrouded in mystery for many. As we embark on this journey today, we'll be delving into the heart of this millennia-old text, shedding light on its profound meanings and implications. Revelation chapter 20, where our focus lies, is a cornerstone of eschatology, the part of theology concerned with the final events in the history of the world. It's here that we find the concept of the Millennium Reign, a 1,000-year period where Christ is said to reign on earth. This chapter is a beacon of hope and a testament to the ultimate triumph of good over evil, a promise of peace and righteousness that resonates deeply with countless believers. But what does it truly mean? How should we interpret these verses, and what significance do they hold for us today? These are the questions we'll be exploring throughout this video. We'll be taking a closer look at each verse, unpacking their meanings and context to offer a comprehensive understanding of this pivotal chapter. It's a journey that requires an open heart and an open mind. Whether you're a longtime believer or new to these teachings, we invite you to join us on this exploration. We'll delve into the historical, theological, and spiritual dimensions of Revelation chapter 20, illuminating its messages and its relevance in our contemporary world. This isn't just about understanding a chapter in the Bible, it's about engaging with a profound spiritual narrative that has shaped and will continue to shape millions of lives across the globe. It's about finding personal meaning in these ancient words and connecting with a faith that transcends time and space. So, are you ready to delve into the mystery and majesty of the Millennium Reign? Stay tuned as we delve into the depths of these verses, line by line. The first 3 verses of Revelation chapter 20 tell a tale of an angel, a dragon, and a 1,000-year reign. It's a narrative packed with symbolism and prophecy, one that has intrigued and fascinated believers for centuries. Let's delve into the first verse. Here we see a mighty angel descending from heaven, holding in his hand the key to the bottomless pit and a great chain. This celestial figure captures our attention, but who is he? While the text doesn't name the angel, the authority and power this angel holds suggests a high-ranking messenger of God, possibly Archangel Michael, who is often depicted as a warrior against evil. Now let's turn our attention to the dragon. The dragon is none other than Satan, the adversary. In verse 2, the angel seizes the dragon and binds him for 1,000 years. This binding symbolizes the limitation of Satan's influence over the world, a restriction that will last for a millennium. This 1,000-year reign, often referred to as the millennium, is a period of peace and righteousness where Christ is said to rule. It's a time when the power of evil is curtailed, allowing humanity to experience a world free from the deceptions and temptations of Satan. In verse 3, the dragon is thrown into the abyss, which is then sealed, preventing him from deceiving the nations until the 1,000 years are over. But notice the prophecy here. After this period, Satan must be released for a short time. This suggests a future resurgence of evil, a brief period of trial before the final triumph of good. What does all this mean for modern Christianity? These verses remind us of the ongoing spiritual warfare, the promise of a future peaceful reign, and the ultimate victory of good over evil. They offer hope for the future while challenging us to remain vigilant in our faith. These verses lay the groundwork for the rest of the chapter, setting the stage for an epic narrative. Keep these symbols and themes in mind as we continue to explore the profound layers of Revelation chapter 20. Verses 4 to 6 introduce us to the concept of the first resurrection and the reign of the saints. As we delve into these verses, we unfold a narrative of hope and triumph, an invitation to contemplate the eternal and divine. In verse 4, we encounter the image of thrones and those who sit on them, the saints. The saints are those who have remained faithful, those who have not worshipped the beast or received its mark. They've chosen the path of righteousness, and their reward is participation in the first resurrection. They're graced with the authority to judge, a responsibility that underscores their spiritual maturity and steadfastness in faith. Then we come to the first resurrection, a concept that may sound strange to some. This isn't a physical resurrection. Instead, it's a spiritual awakening. It's the moment when the soul, separated from the body by death, is reunited with its Creator. The first resurrection represents the ultimate victory over death, not by escaping it, but by passing through it to a new life in God's presence. In verse 5, we're told that the rest of the dead do not come to life until the 1,000 years are ended. This is the second death, a spiritual death. It's a stark reminder of the consequences of turning away from God's love and grace. Now, verse 6 brings us an encouraging promise. Those who partake in the first resurrection are blessed and holy. Death holds no power over them. They are priests of God and Christ and will reign with him for 1,000 years. This is the Millennium Reign, a period of peace and righteousness, where Christ and his saints reign supreme. These verses offer a profound insight into our faith, challenging us to reaffirm our commitment to righteousness. They invite us to visualize a future where love, peace, and righteousness prevail, a future made possible by God's grace and our faith in him. These verses provide a glimpse into the heavenly realm, offering a vision of hope and victory. As we continue on this journey, let's carry these insights with us, reflecting on the promises of faith, resurrection, and the reign of the saints. In verses 7 to 10, we encounter a battle of cosmic proportions. As we delve into these sacred texts, we're confronted with the climactic clash between good and evil, the final showdown that has been millennia in the making. In verse 7, the 1,000 years of peace, the Millennium Reign, comes to an end. Satan, once bound, is now set free from his prison, ready to deceive the nations once more. This is no ordinary conflict, it is a spiritual warfare, a battle of wills, and it's fought on a grand, cosmic scale. Verse 8 sees Satan gathering his forces, the nations in the four corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, symbols of all the evil forces that have ever opposed God. They are numerous as the sand on the seashore, an overwhelming army of darkness. Yet the forces of good are not deterred. In verse 9, they march across the breadth of the earth, surrounding the camp of God's people, the city he loves. This image is evocative, stirring, and it speaks to the enormity of the battle at hand. But God's divine intervention is swift and decisive. Fire comes down from heaven, devouring the enemies. It's a dramatic demonstration of God's unassailable power and the futility of evil's resistance. Finally, in verse 10, we see the devil, the deceiver, thrown into the lake of burning sulfur, where the beast and the false prophet were cast 1,000 years before. There they will be tormented day and night forever and ever. It's a stark and powerful image, a promise of justice and the ultimate triumph of good over evil. These verses are full of symbolism and profound spiritual truths. They speak to the enduring struggle between light and darkness, truth and deception. They remind us of the power of faith and the promise of divine justice. But most importantly, these verses remind us of the ultimate triumph of God's divine plan. The final verses of Revelation chapter 20 reveal the Last Judgment. In these concluding verses, we encounter a powerful image, a great white throne. This throne is not merely an object of grandeur, but it symbolizes the ultimate authority and purity. It is from this throne that the final judgment will be dispensed, a judgment that is just, fair, and unequivocally final. The verses speak of the dead, both great and small, standing before the throne. No one is exempt from this judgment, regardless of their status in life. This serves as a potent reminder that in the eyes of the divine, all are equal. In this pivotal scene, books are opened, including one referred to as the Book of Life. The Book of Life, as it is depicted in the scripture, is not just a mere record. It is the ultimate testament of our deeds, our choices, and our faith. It is in this book that our lives are truly seen and judged. Those not found in the Book of Life, the verses tell us, are cast into the lake of fire, the second death. This is the final separation from God, a fate from which there is no return. Yet, the message here isn't one of fear, but of hope. It is a call to reflection, to consider the course of our lives and the decisions we make. It is an invitation to strive for a life that aligns with God's love and righteousness, a life worthy of being recorded in the Book of Life. As we conclude this journey through Revelation chapter 20, we are reminded of the promise of a new beginning and the ultimate triumph of good over evil. If you want more of this content, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. May God be with you. God bless.